Good morning, Alan. Hello, everyone else. Today, a little look at the Space Museum. If you enjoy this video, please like and subscribe. And now, the Space Museum. The usual brief on the Space Museum is this. The first episode is almost universally accepted as being brilliant. The other three rank somewhere between disaster and hidden gem, with most considering this story disappointing at best. Truthfully, this is due to the rather high quality of the first episode rather than the low quality of the other three. The story opens with the lights going out in the TARDIS, then coming back on. From then on, strange things happen. Vicky drops a glass of water, only for it to jump back into her hand. And when leaving the TARDIS, they do not leave footprints in the sand. Even stranger, they appear to be invisible and soundless with the beings of this world. The mood alternates between lonely and scared exploration to a looming sense that something weird and terrifying is going on. Not until three-quarters of the way through the first episode are we returned to the cliffhanger from the previous story, The Crusade, with the TARDIS crew returned to the clothes that they had worn in that story, jumping a time track and landing on Zeros, playing with the structure of storytelling itself, putting the resumption of the story smack dab in the middle, the wrong part of the episode, only in Doctor Who. With a jolt, the Doctor and the TARDIS crew are now in the middle of a brewing revolution, inside of a space museum. The Doctor and companions wandering about invisible in this museum, trying to figure out what has gone wrong and where they are. They remark on they don't seem to belong here, all the while in an unnerving silence. This is Doctor Who, scary and alien in a way that nothing else on television compares to at this time. Perhaps the best moment in the episode, a fair contender for one of the best moments in the series so far, is when the TARDIS finally catches up with its crew. Suddenly, the world of the people on the TARDIS is for that first time rocked by the arrival of the TARDIS. For the first time since an unearthly child, the TARDIS is made to seem completely unnerving and alien. Then, in most people's minds, the whole thing goes off the rail, and I understand why. Basically, we have only the isolated TARDIS crew when the second episode picks up. We are 25 minutes behind where we want to be in the story build. So, in the first 5 minutes of the second episode, we have a massive information dump. Let us also look at what has been going on. Zeros has been long conquered and turned into a space museum, highlighting the galaxy wide conquest by the Morocks, a dynasty nearing its end. The museum is an outpost, mostly forgotten, is governed by a tired and cynical commander. He and his guards run the rarely visited museum and the remaining Zerons. Meanwhile, Barbara is underused, as the show has never managed to use all four of the regulars well throughout an entire story. Until the cast is reduced, this will just happen often. Ian falls into the same trap. The Doctor, while underused, spending most of the third episode out of the picture and the early part of episode 4 recovering, but he has a scene in the second episode, and it's not the one where he hides in the Dalek. No, it's when he sits down in a chair that reads his mind and displays it on a screen, to which he will foil this by thinking of whatever comes to his mind, not what is prompted by his interrogator. The Morlock demands to know where he comes from, only for the Doctor to say, "Look at the screen. There are walruses, just walruses." If a Morlock pulls out his hair, then the interrogator is doing this now. So outside of this, the Doctor, Barbara, and Ian spend time wondering which choice to make. Vicky will be the star of the three episodes that finish the story. Vicky clearly wants to overthrow the government and to give guns to young men. She gets the clever person plot, usually reserved for the Doctor. She shows the Zarons how to overthrow the government, and this is a high point for the character. I agree with those who believe episode 1 is must see 60s BBC television, and that episodes 2, 3, and 4 are formulaic and predictable, in that Vicky here and Zoe in The Invasion both outwit a computer, something very 60s, man outwitting machine, or honestly, in both cases here, woman outwitting machine. The closing, though, is the most important part of this story. The Daleks have learned how to time travel, and they have decided to hunt and kill their greatest enemy, the Doctor. From today on, the Doctor is the greatest enemy of the most evil race in the universe, the Daleks.